The power of LinkedIn. It will bring you to certain opportunities and people, and it'll bring those opportunities and people to you. And one such person for me is Marjy. Came across one of her posts that was about her book that was out, and the first thing that struck me was her quote about making sure that your voice isn't dulled down. And the moment I read that, I knew that I had to have her on Shiro's. So I have her on Shiro's, and we're about to talk about her new book, her Be Her Champion organization, and all of that wonderful stuff. She's here joining me on Shiro's. Marjorie, thank you so much for coming on the show. Listen, I am in awe and I respect so much anyone who can actually write a book. And in your case, it's not one, but it's many books. I want to start off, first of all, by congratulating you. But I, have this thing in my mind about who we've always been and who we've become. Have you always been this Marjorie that I'm talking to tonight?
I probably was, because I believe I was born this way. But the nickname Marjy came about during my undergrad days when I was in University of Ghana, Legon, and I like to flow myself fast. And so my roommates decided, my name is Marjorie, and they decided to call me Marjy. And I'll be coming up the stairs at Saba Hall and be singing, I'm out for Marjy, never, no more no. And yeah, I loved the nickname, and now it's become part of my identity.
So Marjy, what is the difference between you, Marjorie, that I'm speaking to today, and Marjy?
The awareness. Your experience shapes you. Every time you fall, you get back up. You learn as you grow. And so through my failures and successes, it shaped me into who I am today. And with the exposure that I have received from around the world, it's also broadened my lens as to how I see life.
So Marjorie, why did you decide to leave the motherland? Why did you, go away? What were you in pursuit of? Why?
First of all, I can never walk away from the motherland. It is buried in my soul. I live and breathe our culture. I left Ghana to attend grad school, and initially my thought was I was going to be coming back and bringing my resources back to Ghana. But then I fell in love, and my spouse was working here in the United States, and so we made this place home. I love my community here. My heart is here, and it's also in the motherland.
So Marjorie, as I said in my intro, I discovered you on LinkedIn, and it seems like you have such a strong purpose, to use your voice to change society and how we think and how we feel. What brought you to this purpose, Marjorie?
Well, I guess I was molded along the way. My last name, my maiden name is Boafo, meaning helper. So as I was growing up, I felt like, I had to help. And my father was such a role model. He would take me to clean up campaigns. He would take me to all these church anniversaries, introducing me to community work, as well as sharpening my intellectual skills and encouraging me to be the best person that I could be. And so through that process, I was molded. And with education and your network, you're an average of the people that you hang out with. And so I surround myself with people who inspire me, people that I aspire to be. I surround myself with people who need I say, are probably smarter than I am, so I can learn from them. So I've been molded along the way, and through that process, I found my purpose, which is to encourage others, to be a cheerleader for others, and get us all to thrive, and also to connect us, our humanity, and the fact that we are all humans at the end of the day, no matter our race, our gender, our country of origin, we're connected with our humanity.
So, Marjorie, is this belief that we're all connected through humanity the reason why you fight for race? In that fighting for understanding, what race is, what do you want people to know? What do you want people to learn?
Well, Anita, this conversation is for all of us, regardless of where you are in the world. When we're in Ghana, most of us are Black. We don't think about that kind of stereotyping that those of us in the US may be thinking about. But then there's still differences. There is colorism, there is xenophobia, there are the different, the expats that come to live in Ghana. If you're in Europe, there are people from all around the world who may be living in your country and in the US as well. What I've noticed is that sometimes we tend to pin the blame on other races, but if we take a step back, we would realize that at the end of the day, we all, well, when I say all, there are always exceptions, but we all appreciate family. We all are looking for love. We are all looking to succeed. There are some basic things that keep us together. It doesn't matter whether you're Christian, Muslim, an atheist. And so that is what led me to talk about the conversations about race. I had conversations with about 27 or so individuals on my globally ranked podcast, Humanity Chats. And they had talked about racial equity, unity, colorism, and this was an opportunity to bring all the conversations together, especially in a time as this where we have police brutality, where we have, xenophobia around the world. There are people in China who were kicked out of their apartments because they were Black during the COVID-19 pandemic. So this is a time to bring people together from all walks of life, regardless of political affiliation, to discuss this topic that is pertinent to all of us.
Marjorie, I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would say that you sound a little bit like a politician from the perspective of fighting for something, wanting to create a certain kind of change. Is politics in the cards in the future?
Well, I don't think I'm going to go into politics. I don't have that kind of I don't have the stamina to go the long haul with politics, because then I might end up saying something I'm not supposed to say. Because believe me, Anita, we're all human, and so at the end of the day, I cuss too, and I do throw shade just like everybody else. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm still working on my humanity.
All right, then we'll leave it right there. As far as the humanitarian and the humanities conversation is concerned, we'll leave it right there. But then what I cannot leave alone is your authorship and you writing these books. What brought you into this space? Why do you do it?
Oh, the lessons, a whole mountain of lessons. When you're writing, whether it be fiction or nonfiction, you tend to pour yourself into your writing. Conversations About Race is my 7th book. I remember when I was writing my first book, The Shimmigrant, which is about a young girl, Appiah, Sasha, who happened to leave Ghana to go to the United States. And she went to the United States as an undocumented immigrant and was a maidservant. I was so into the culture when I started writing, because her name was Yasantua. So I was thinking about the warrior queen and putting all that tradition into the writing. I was so proud. I was excited. And then as I kept going further into the book, I was sad when she was going through her emotions, when she was going through her troubles. And then there was a time that there was a death in the book. I sat there, I cried, I wailed, I was with the characters. With my second book, Sasha evolved and as Same Elephants. She was with 3 friends. who got together in unity. Two of the friends were stereotyped against, and so these four friends ended up going on a protest. Surprisingly, the book came out in March of 2020. And George Floyd, God rest his soul, got killed later that year, and there were all these protests. And so people were like, oh, how come you wrote about this before it happened? And I said, no, it didn't just happen. These protests have been going on for a long time. There have been people fighting for us. There was a civil rights movement. There was Kwame Nkrumah. There have been people who have been fighting for us from the get-go. So this didn't just happen. But as I wrote Same Elephants, I was in the book. I was with them when they were protesting. I was there when they were being stereotyped against, felt their sadness. When I started with my children's series, I felt the same level of excitement as I visited the kids in the schools, and they were asking about, they had questions like, what did she buy when she went shopping? I want to drive this car. I could feel their excitement, see myself when I was a little girl, and all the dreams and aspirations that I had through the kids' eyes. And now to my latest book, Conversations About Race. That's a very difficult topic to talk about. And so my anxiety level was a little bit up before the book came out. I did worry, and I did shed tears as well. And then I had some people online who were calling me names. Some said, oh, I look like the syrup lady. So I Googled the syrup lady to figure out what she looked like. People are like, I'm conversated out. I'm not interested. Black people are bigots. I mean, all these comments that were out there, discouraging. But I didn't give up, because I knew that there was a purpose to me sharing these stories, whether they're fictional or not.
And the purpose will always be bigger than us. We'll be right back after this with Marjorie. The world of Anita Erskine Shiros gets more exciting by the minute. I mean, I meet all these women, both online and in person. When we go around the world, we call it Anita Erskine Shiros, globally speaking. And whenever you find us one-on-one, of course, it's a conversation worth having. But whatever it is, don't forget to subscribe to Anita Erskine Network on YouTube. Click on that bell button so that you can get notified whenever there's a new episode of Anita Erskine Shiros up and live. Of course, it's every Thursday at 1900 hours UTC. Our women are speaking. Are you listening? Marjy, before the break, you were talking to me about the backlash from your book release. I'm guessing that perhaps you're so thick-skinned, but this name calling, what did it do to you? What did it arm you with?
Anita, I don't know what it armed me with, other than me starting to have self-doubt. I'm a very confident person, but then I was asking questions like, was this book necessary? Do you think it should get published? Do you think I will be okay? I don't want anybody to hate on me. I don't want anybody to hate on my family. I had self-doubt, and that's what shows that we're human. And insults do get to people, no matter how confident that person may look. No, it doesn't matter if it's a Beyonce or a Michelle Obama, or, we're human. These things hurt. You can pick yourself up and move along. When the book came out, and it's been out for about a week now, it debuted as a #1 new release. I was excited. I thought it was a fluke and that it was going to drop off the listings. Well, this morning I checked, it was still a #1 new release in the race category. So I was proud. At the same time, I know that this is an important conversation to have.
Wow. And so you will continue to lend your voice to this charge.
Yes, I would. I wouldn't change a thing. Now, it does get taxing sometimes. It does get to you, your emotional health. There's no doubt about that. So you have to find a way to let your spirits up. Like I go back and I listen to Diana Hamilton and I close my eyes and I praise and I worship. You need a safe haven because these things or these moments could be taxing on you. You need family, you need your network, you need to smile. You need moments like this when I'm chatting with you and I'm feeling motivated, loved, and appreciated to keep you going. But I wouldn't change a thing. I would keep doing it because I believe that we need it. We don't live in an utopian world, and I don't expect that everything will change and that we will all be perfect. No, I don't expect that. But I dream that we will try, that we will get better. And so that is the goal, that we all can get better. Me in my stereotyping and my shade and my cuss and, all of us.
Marj, I have to say that that is very encouraging, and I feel that it's probably a great time to talk about your Africa. Because it is encouraging to be African right now. It always has been, but we're in a different dynamic. I think a renaissance beckons. What is your Africa, Marjorie? How do you, or would you define it?
My Africa is a place where we all thrive. Now, I'm going to give a quote that is from Lucy Quest, The Bold New Normal, where we all get together to let Africa prosper. We can't do it by being divisive. We can't do it with a xenophobic attitude. Ghanaians hating on Nigerians or Cameroonians calling out Liberians. We cannot do that. Our Africa has to be one Africa. The United Countries of Africa is what it has to be so that we can thrive. And we have to invest in ourselves. We have brilliant people on the continent, brilliant architects who can build the infrastructure for Africa, brilliant creatives who can create their own Gollywood, Nollywood, Sollywood, whichever part of Africa we're looking at. So let us nourish the talent on the continent so that together we can move forward and be a force in this world.
I love Marjorie's Africa. We'll be back after this. The world of Anita Erskine Shiros gets more exciting by the minute. I mean, I meet all these women, both online and in person. When we go around the world, we call it Anita Erskine Shiros, globally speaking. And whenever you find us one-on-one, of course, it's a conversation worth having. But whatever it is, don't forget to subscribe to Anita Erskine Network on YouTube. Click on that bell button so that you can get notified whenever there's a new episode of Anita Erskine Shiros up and live. Of course, it's every Thursday at 1900 hours UTC. Our women are speaking. Are you listening? Marjorie, thank you so much for being a light, for being so wonderful, for doing what you do, and for sharing, what you've been through. I guess in that same vein, I'm going to say I cannot wait to read your next book.
Thank you, Anita. It's been an honor to have this conversation with you, and I really appreciate you reaching out and inviting me to join you.
Marjorie's book is online. You can buy all her books on the website right there on the screen. Thank you so much, Marjorie, for being my guest on Shiros. Until next time, bye-bye.
It's a boss lady thing.